Hi there, this is Ronnie coming at you with a video. It is International Geek Pride Day. I didn't know this, so on Facebook. Um, I was going to make a video on a particular subject, and the fact that it's International Geek Pride Day makes the topic of it somewhat relevant. Now, I could go on about various aspects of Geek Life or the fact that most people are geeks even if they don't know it, but given that my channel is primarily about gaming, particularly tabletop RPGs, I'm going to concentrate on that. And it's really something that has bugged me over the years. I'm going to mention computer games as well. Not so much computer games as much as computers, which ties in nicely. As a child, I grew up in the 80s, a teenager in the 80s. I remember the home computer wars here in the UK. I have vague knowledge of the kind of console wars that were happening in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, with the Atari 2600 and ColecoVision and Intellivision. But I never really saw ColecoVision and Intellivision much except for the odd advert on television. So Atari's up close and personal. But I knew a lot about the home computer wars from the point of view of playgrounds and the people who would go into these cliques that the Commodore 64 was the best machine, and no, it was the Amstrad CPC 464. No, it's the Sinclair Spectrum. No, it's the Acorn Electron. Blah blah blah. It seemed it wasn't enough to like the computer you had. You had to denigrate other people because they didn't have that computer, or they had a specific other computer. I saw a similar thing happen with the fight between Nintendo and Sega. First of all, when you had the NES and the Master System, and then when both of those got upgraded to the 16 bits, the kind of fanboy pissing on each other between people who had the Sega, well, Mega Drive as it's called here, the Genesis as it's called in the US, and the Super Nintendo, the SNES. Similarly, there were many an argument and pissing between Amiga and Atari ST owners. I remember in the early days of the Xbox and the PlayStation, there was all this toing and froing. It wasn't enough that you said that you liked yours, you had to denigrate the other. I owned the Spectrum. It was not the best computer, but I loved it. I've got an emulator for it on my PC now. And I look at some of the Commodore 64 games and I go, wow. But I don't go wow to the point where I'm envious. I go, ooh. Eventually I got an Amiga, and I've seen a lot of videos, especially now through YouTube. Watched a lot of videos of Atari ST versions of games that I owned, or comparisons between Amiga games and Atari, or Amiga and Atari ST versions of same game. And I love those because they're interesting to look at what was so similar and what was so different. A similar thing happened with role-playing games, but I haven't seen it quite so nasty with tabletop, except when it comes to essentially the two big hitters. and that is Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. I have seen the fanboys go nuts with each other on that, or even so far as saying which iteration of the D20 system is the best. I get that people like certain systems. I like certain systems. If anyone's seen any of my older videos, they'll know exactly what they are. I'm not going to repeat them here. And I love them. And I'm quite prepared to wax lyrical about them in videos other than this. But I don't feel the need to look down my nose at other people's gaming choices. Even if they're playing systems which really don't do it for me. They obviously do it for them. And that's great. And I think we should be, especially tying in with Geek Pride Day, we as gamers should be celebrating what brings us together rather than nitpicking at differences. There's a lesson for humanity, actually. But, you know, from small acorns, mighty oaks grow. Let's start at small. As I say, I just wish people would stop with the System A is God and System B sucks, and if you play System B, you suck as well. Had enough of that in my life. Heard it during the 8-bit computer wars in the early 80s, heard it with arguments between the Atari ST and the Amiga. And fuck, I used to hear so many arguments between PC and Mac users, for God's sake. And I'm just kind of tired of it, you know. Let's just celebrate the fact that we're gamers. Let's celebrate the fact that we do this incredibly social hobby. Let's celebrate the fact that, speaking specifically for tabletop role-playing games, that we enjoy role-playing. It doesn't matter what system we use. It doesn't matter whether it's D&D, whatever version, whether it's Pathfinder, whether it's Savage Worlds, whether it's Dragon Age, which I happen to like at the moment, whether it's some of the more obscure ones, whether it's some of the ones that are really big at the moment, like Fate. You know, whatever it is that you're into, enjoy it. I think we need to be more mature with our geekdom. And I think, you know, that's a lesson that goes right through geekdom. You know, I've kind of gotten out of the habit now of having discussions regarding football. Simply because I can't be bothered with it. You know, this whole thing, my team is great, your team sucked, you suck too. I don't get that. I understand banter. But I think banter crosses a line far too often, where we disrespect people for doing exactly, technically, what we're doing, which is doing something we love with a particular system that we happen to enjoy. So I would say, if there's one message I would like out there for Geek Pride Day amongst gamers, let's celebrate what we enjoy. And let's stop denigrating each other for enjoying similar but different. Yes, what, you know, person B plays may not do it for you. It may not be a system that works for you. It may not be a system that intrigues you or grabs you in any way. But don't denigrate them because they enjoy that system. You know, it's just celebrate the fact that they enjoy the game. No one's asking you to play that system. No one's telling, well, more or less, no one's forcing you to play that system. Just go out there and enjoy. Play your games. Don't denigrate others for enjoying the same thing. And let's just enjoy gaming, folks. Because that's why we do what we do. Because we're geeks, we're gamers, and it's great.